think that's gonna be good though.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
1 minute and 58 seconds. I'm ready.
I'm not running his game again. I'm going home. I'm pulling an Ethan. I'm gonna leave, not Tom.
Something's playing.
Yeah.
Oh, you just spooked me. But you did so good last time.
Stupid feathers. What up, Rob?
Howdy. Have you seen the TikTok sound that's apple bottom jeans over a Beach Boys song? Got an apple bottom jeans and the boots with the fur. Yeah, the whole damn club. They were looking at her. She hit the floor. Next thing you know, it's so good. And it's stuck in my head all the time. It's all, if you ever look at me and it looks like there's nothing happening, it's apple bottom jeans by the Beach Boys up here. And nothing else. It's so good.
Riley. It's okay. You know, it's not a bad thing.
It's just the bees, man. Hey, run the game.
Me?
Yeah, I feel like it'll be funny.
No.
Why not?
I'm good.
Oh, why?
If Matt
Why?
lets me, then I'll run it.
Well, I'm not doing that. Why? Okay, well, it's not working. Matt, something's happening.
What's happening?
I don't know, look. Public and a vetting allowed. You have to try refreshing and see what happens.
Riley says
Amber runs the game.
I should update this morning.
Okay, go.
I don't know, man.
As long as it's going to YouTube.
Yeah, it's going to YouTube.
That's fine.
Okay.
I feel like it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good morning, Amber.
Okay, we're gonna play a game. It's called Back in 2021.
Yes.
And I'm gonna ask you a question. You guys have to answer what it is. Okay, back in 2021, shipments through this body of water were blocked for 6 days. The container ship got stuck. Anyone know what? Huh?
So,
What? Yeah. Okay. Back in 2021, the 2020, not a typo, Olympics took place in what country?
Tokyo is a city.
Next. Okay, back in 2021, this founder of Amazon went to space.
Bezos.
Jeff Bezos. What? I don't know. What is me? Yeah. Back in
Why?
2021,
We've all
this
been
professional
asking.
baseball team won the World Series. Someone's salty about it. Who is it?
What? Atlanta Braves.
Huh?
Atlanta Braves.
Yeah.
I feel like you.
Please stop.
I played baseball.
Back in 2021, this movie became the lowest rated film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah, The Eternals. In 2021, this TV show became the most watched Netflix TV. No. What? No.
Netflix original.
Huh? It's Squid Games. Okay, back in 2021, this TikTok challenge involved climbing on items made from carrying certain dairy products. That was not 2021, was it?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. That's facts.
Reading carefully.
Yes. Yeah, the milk crate challenge.
Anybody do that? Did anybody try that?
Can we do it on Wednesday?
Yes. No, we're not gonna do it Wednesday.
That-
You already said yes.
Maybe we.
No. Back in 2021, this artist released an album, Birdie.
Prince.
No.
Michael Jackson.
No. Michael Jackson's dead.
You don't know that.
The Beatles.
No. 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 Yes. No. Okay, back in 2021, this professional football team won their league's big game.
Get back right.
That's dude. Yeah. Tampa Bay. Okay. Back in 2021, this late night talk show host left late night TV after 28 years.
What did they say?
He's still.
He's still on the air.
I think it's 2 shows
That's
now.
got to be 4 days. David, 4, David, 4. Matt's 4, David.
That's
David Leonard.
I'll talk about it. Huh?
Johnson, you're stupid. I almost gave it up.
Anywho, anyone have a guess? Oh.
Robin O'Brien.
Okay.
You're not doing well? I don't know. Hey, good morning, everyone. I thought maybe.
Good morning.
Let's try it again. Hey, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Nat.
No, you gotta be louder than that. This is second service. We've talked about this in the past. Second service, I want the energy level up, so everyone try to get on the count of 3. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Matt.
It's so sad. You guys got to sleep in. Hey, if you are new here, if this is your first time with us, make sure you go to our welcome center, fill out a welcome card. What do you got in that dream? Oh, he doesn't want to look now. Oh, that's your dream. Shame on you. All right, where was I? Squirrel. My name is Matt. I'm youth pastor here. Welcome to church. If you're new, if this is your first time with us, make sure you fill out a welcome card. Take it to our cafe next week, and you'll get a small prize and a free drink. On your chairs as you came in this morning, everyone has one. A prayer request card is on every chair. Take a minute and fill that out. What I do is I take those cards that you guys turn in and I type them up, and all the leaders in the room, we pray for you guys every single week, but I look at the specific when we pray. So take a minute and fill it out. All you got to do is put your name on there and what it is we can pray for you about. If you got cool stuff going on in your life, you're super stoked that school's back in session, you can't wait to get in there and do your finals next week, I'll pray for your finals. If you got junk going on in your life, put that in there too. I love to pray for your junk. If you got stuff going on that you don't want all the leaders to know about, there's a box at the bottom that says this request is confidential from that only. If you check that box, I'll be the only one that gets it, but it still gives me an opportunity to pray for you this week. So take a minute and fill it out, really. Take a minute and fill it out. Use the pen, put your name, what can I pray for you about? And then on your way out, you can put the prayer requests in that black box by the door on your way out. That way we'll get them and we can pray for you this week. Next is the landing. Every Tuesday from 6:30 to 8:30, we have a group that meets right here called The Landing. This is a group for students who are dealing with junk in their lives. If you have hurts, hang-ups, and habits, stuff that you're kind of working through, this is a place where you can come and find healing and learn how to deal with your emotions and the addictions and the junk that comes along in life. We serve you a meal, we have a worship time, small lesson, and then a lot of small group time where you can be in a group of safe place where you can share and kind of work through the stuff so that you can live the best kind of life that God wants you to live. That's every Tuesday, right here, 6:30 to 8:30. Come join us at The Landing. Next is doing life together. If you got extracurricular activities that you're involved in, if you're in a band or drama or sports games, whatever it is you got going on, love to come watch you do what you do. All you got to do is get a piece of paper, write down your name, when, where, and what it is, stick it to that corkboard at the back of the room, and I'll do the best I can to fit into my schedule. Come watch you do what you do. I love to hang out and watch you guys do stuff because you guys are all awesome. Next is Hume 2022, our annual summer camp, which I'm claiming is going to happen this year. Last 2 years have been canceled due to this something pandemic. But we're going to go this year, and I'm certain of it. So we are going to start our signups for Hume Lake 2 weeks from today, January 23rd, 7 p.m. on our website on the student page. All the information will be there this week. So send mom or dad, or you can even go there and check it out. It'll have the pricing, the dates, and kind of all the information that you need to know to get signed up for it. Signups will open 2 weeks from today, January 23rd, 7 p.m. Make sure you get it. Now, if you don't know what Hume is, take a look at this video.
The God who went on that cross, died and went into the grave. But don't be confused. That's not the end of the story. Can anyone say hallelujah to the fact that 3 days later, he kicked death in the teeth?
Is in California. We will go the first week of August. We'll depart on July 30th, which is a Saturday. We will return the following Saturday, which is August 6th or 7th. That first week of August is when we go. If you have any questions about it, if you want more information, come see me, and I'd be happy to give you that information. Registration again opens on January 23rd, 7 p.m. on our website. And that is for all of you. It's for grades 7 through 12. So I hope you're looking forward to coming and hanging out with us for summer camp. Next, we are going to be doing baptisms very, very soon. If you're ready to take the next step in your faith, we're going to be having a short baptism class next Sunday after first service. If you're ready to make a public declaration of your faith, make sure you and your parents plan on attending. I've already got one student signed up for baptism. I'd love to do it kind of like mid-month this month. We'll set up the baptism. We'll baptize right here in this room, and I'm pretty stoked and excited for that. So if you're ready to take that next step, come see me, and we can talk about what that means and how we prepare you to get ready for that. Lastly, we take an offering every week in this room. The money we collect goes to Compassion International. They use it to support your 3 Compassion kids, Ian, Saw, and Willie. These are kids that I was questioning because since we came back from COVID, I told you guys there was a lack of giving, and it costs $30 per child per month, so that's $90 a month that we're on the hook for to support these 3 kids. And I was questioning whether we should continue doing it because we just weren't getting a lot in giving after COVID, and I get it. It's hard to get back in the habit of regular giving. I decided we're going to keep sponsoring these kids because we've had them since they were like 6 years old, and so that requires something of you. It requires that we give back from what we have been given. I'm not trying to guilt trip anybody. I'm just trying to lay it out there. It's a hard number, $90 a month that we need to provide. So I ask, just pray to God every week. How much, God, do you want me to give back from what I've been given, what we've been blessed with? And then each and every week, just be faithful in bringing that. And whatever the number is, I don't care. It could be a penny, nickel, dime, dollar, quarter. That's between you and God. I just ask that you faithfully give every single week so that we can be a blessing to these 3 kids that we've been tracking with for years and years and years now. Right now, I'm going to ask if you came this morning prepared to worship God with an offering, you can put that in the black box at the back of the room with your prayer request card on your way out. I'm going to have the worship team come on up. Grace is going to lead us in a great set of worship this morning. I hope you guys are excited. I'm pretty stoked for it. Why don't you guys stand up, and everybody stand up, and we're standing, and now we're standing, and we're up, and we're up. And all right, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. First service was very, very quiet and low-key rain this morning. And I know second service, you guys are so much better than them, right? Yeah. Thank you, EJ. And EJ is way better than the entire first service. Here's what I want you guys to do. I want to hear your voices this morning. And I want you to consider what we're doing and why we do this, right? We're going to be singing praise and worship to the God of creation, the creator of everything you can see, touch, taste, and feel. And we're going to be singing out praise and song to him this morning. So I want to hear your voices. I want you, the lights are low for a reason. That's so that you're not distracted by the people around you. I'd love to hear your voices as we make a joyful noise to God this morning. Here we go.
I just have to find these kids some seats. Can you do the lyrics for a second? Yeah. Just for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have some seats
What? Oh, okay. That's odd.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Next verse for Grace. What? Good? That's why I asked, literally asked you before we started. I'm gonna have so much voice practice.
today, and please open our minds and hearts and really listen to the message. And we love you, and in your name, amen.
Make some noise for yourself.
That was amazing.
Chills.
Did you press?
Useless. Okay.
All right. Hey, good morning. Good morning. So much better. Look at that. All you had to do is sing loud and we get almost 90 minutes. Hey, wow, that's a long time. Okay, that's okay. You're going to be my favorite section. Come on, let's go. All right, we are in week 2 of a 5-week series that we're talking about called Counterfeit. I want to start this morning by asking a question. Raise your hand if any of you share a room with a sibling. Anybody's sibling sharing rooms right now?
I share a room.
So when I was growing up, you guys are all awesome and great, by the way. I love you, and I'm sorry because you had to share with me. I grew up sharing a room with my brother too. So if you know my story, if you've been around and you've kind of heard me talk before, I grew up three kids in my family. My sister's the oldest, my brother's the middle, I'm the youngest, I'm the baby. But my brother and I always had to share a room growing up because we were a single parent family. We were kind of poor, didn't have a big house, and so my brother and I shared a room. And like a lot of kids who share a bedroom with their sibling growing up, it was rough at times, right? It could be difficult. And I speak from my own experience in that sometimes, all right, let's just give you, any of you share a room with your siblings, you ever do like the whole sitcom TV thing, where it's like, I'm tired of you always being my stuff. No, I'm tired of you being my stuff. And you go, all right, here's how we're going to solve this. We're going to put a line down the middle of this room. You guys have done this, right? So my bedroom, just kind of laid out, okay? Just so you can lay down. My bedroom was like a square, and the door was here, and we had this little bathroom with a shower off the end of it here, right? And my brother, being the old, all right, so just so you know, my brother was a bully and a jerk, and I love him, but growing up he was a bully and a jerk. And here's why I say that, because two of us, it's almost like we were biologically different people, and we are biologically different people, and I say that, it sounds weird, but our development was such that he was kind of like the king of the orcs. He was this giant, 6 foot tall by 7th grade, and I was like the pixie elf something. I don't know. I was this little tiny weak person. And so the two, you can probably imagine how that dynamic played out, right? There was my brother always did what he wanted, and I got picked on and beat on. So that's how it went. So when we decided to put this line down the middle of the room, he kind of took advantage, right? So he puts this line down the middle of the room this way. Remember, this is square. Door's here on this wall. The bathroom's here. He puts it right down the middle this way. And he puts me on that side. I go, ha ha ha! Sucks to be you. I got the bathroom. You can't use the bathroom. It's on my side of the room. And he looks at me with a straight face and goes, the door to the room's on mine. Wait, what does that mean? That means I can never leave through the door? No, you gotta let me use the door. No, you can't use the door. You gotta crawl through the window. So I crawled through the window. So I didn't know. But that was the thing, like growing up and sharing a room, it's the worst, right? Maybe those of you share bedrooms with a sibling. Anybody neat freaks? Maybe I like to keep their stuff neat, tidy. I mean, we can still be friends. It's all right. You can recover from that. It's okay. If you're a neat person and the person you share a room with is messy, like that's a disaster. That doesn't work well. What if you like to okay. What if you like to go to sleep, but they like to stay up late watching YouTube? That can be difficult, right? What if you like to listen to hip hop in the morning when you get work, you're ready to go, and they like listening to country music? That could be a problem. Not country music is a problem. I like country music, it's just never mind. And I apologize if I hit like any wounds, if anybody's like shook because what I said already, those of you who share room. I remember though being a kid, sharing with my brother, and dreaming of the day when my family would be able to afford a house that was big enough so that I could have my own. Yeah, it never happened. But I dreamed about it, right? I could fantasize about it. And maybe you feel the same way. Maybe you feel that way about your room situation, or maybe for you it's like something else entirely. Maybe you're thinking, like, I can't wait to have a car of my own. I can't wait to have my own car. Or maybe you're thinking, I can't wait to go on a trip with my friends. Or maybe you're thinking, I can't wait until I'm old enough to move out and like have a dorm room or an apartment of my own, where I can just kind of strike out and be on my own. And see, that's part of the stage of life that you guys are all in. You guys are all in this stage of life, and it's a word that kind of modern society has invented. It's a term called adolescence, and it's this in-between, right? You're not little kids anymore, but you're not an adult yet. And so you're stuck in this in-between. And being an adolescent, that stage of life, is all about becoming your own person, right? You develop hobbies of your own. You develop a style that's all your own. And you have thoughts about your future that are all your own. Like you're starting to figure out who you are and what you want out of this life. And at the same time, part of growing up is developing a personal faith of your own. It's having a faith that is yours. It's not a counterfeit faith or a copy of someone else's faith. It's a faith that you own and you develop. And PJ, man, come on. We talk about owning your faith and it not being a copy of someone else's. With that in mind, I want to clear one thing up. What I'm not saying is a faith on your own equals a faith on your own. Right? It's a different concept. I'm not saying don't go to small group. I'm not saying stop listening to sermons. Like, I love when you hear me talk, even though some of you check out. I'm not saying skip church altogether. See, experiencing faith for yourself isn't the same as experiencing faith by yourself. And if you talk to some people in society, right, in our culture, there's a lot of people that would, like, if you ask them, they say, hey, do you believe in God? Hey, do you believe in God? Yeah, I believe in God. You go to church now. I don't know church. I don't know about that. I can be spiritual without belonging to a church. See, that's not how it's supposed to be. See, there's a time in every mature person's life when they go from believing what someone else says or copying what someone else does to having this faith of their own, a faith that's personal to them. Having a faith of your own doesn't mean that you never listen to anyone else, right? In fact, if you want to have a solid faith of your own, you'll need to involve other people, maybe even more people than you think. That's why we gather here. That's why we have this thing called the church. And see, when I was younger, most of the Christians I knew were like older people. I didn't hang around with a lot of Christian kids. Most of the Christians I knew were older. I had my parents, grandparents, their friends. It's like, oh, look at all those old Christian people. That is until I met a guy who was a youth pastor named Mike Rafina. And so it's kind of my story. I grew up, my mom made us go to church every Sunday morning. We went to this little Lutheran church. There were like 150 people total in the entire church. Everybody knew everybody's business. The youth group in that church consisted of 8 kids. 8 kids. It was real dynamic. And I didn't connect with those kids. And there was a church, my church kind of sat on this hill, and you go down this little dirt path, and there was another church down below. And directly across the street from that church was my junior high where I went. And that church down below, that church down the hill from my church, is where I met Pastor Mike Rafina. He was a youth pastor there. And meeting Mike and attending his youth group totally changed like the way I saw faith. It changed how I viewed it completely. Like, Mike made faith seem bigger. Mike made faith seem better and more interesting and more real to young little me. Like, I wanted to be just like him when I grew up. He was the first, like, cool Christian that I ever met. And I wasn't just trying to copy his version of being Christian. I didn't want to just be a copy of Mike. See, Mike showed me how I could start to live my faith for myself. Like, he opened that picture for me to say, look, don't just do what I do because I do it. Like, understand what it is that we do and develop this faith of your own. So Mike kind of set the stage for this faith. Now, I wasn't like on fire for God like right away coming out of high school. I kind of went through this period I like to call the dark years where I was far from God. And then I started attending this other church, and I met a married couple there who were 10 years older than me. They were a little bit older than me. And their names were Tim and Suzanne. And they were married, and I was kind of dating my wife at the time, and I hung out at their house a lot. Because I was a single guy, I had a lot of money, and well, Suzanne was a great cook. And they'd invite me over for dinner. I'm like, I'm down for dinner. I'll come over again. And so I hung out at their house a lot, and over dinner we talked about things that, like what it meant to live out a faith, of like a life of faith in God, and with people who saw things differently, and how it didn't have to be weird doing it. And I learned so much about how to love people and how to have a real relationship with God from Tim and Suzanne. Like they were these real mentors that came in my life and shaped my version of faith and what I believe. See, I can easily look at those relationships and see how God used them to help me develop a faith that is my own. He used other people to draw me closer to Him and to have this real authentic faith and not some counterfeit faith that I had when I was just going to church with my mom because mom made me go. We talked about this a little bit last week. Look, mom and dad's faith won't save you. Grandma's faith won't get you to eternity in heaven. You have to develop a faith of your own. You have to own it and know it and live it. It's got to be your own. And that's true for almost everybody who ever has a faith of their own. It's this faith that's not just a copy of the great people before them, but a faith that they live out for themselves. A faith that's true and authentic for themselves. And whenever you hear a story about someone's journey towards God, I want you to notice, like if you ever talk to anybody, like, how did you come in relationship with God? Like almost always, you hear about some relationship, and not just with God, right? But with another person. Almost everyone's journey involves other people in it. Almost everyone's journey to a true authentic faith involves people. And maybe you've experienced this too. Maybe your journey has involved someone who invited you to church today. Maybe you're here because someone invited you. Maybe you come to youth group. Maybe you come to Wednesday nights because somebody invited you and that's how you got clicked in. Maybe in the Bible study or Christian club at school. Maybe it was someone who helped change the way you think about God. Like this could be someone who impacted you with one single conversation. Just in passing, maybe you don't even know them real well. But you had this conversation with them one time about God. It's like, man, something's different. Or maybe it was a series of conversations, an ongoing dialogue over the course of time that brought you to a place and a deeper understanding of God. Maybe it was someone who you watched and observed, and you saw how they lived a different way, like this different kind of life. You go, man, what is it about them that's so different? Like, what makes them live the way they do? Maybe it's one of those relationships that brought you here. To put it simply, the people around us affect our faith. The people we hang out with, the people around us affect our faith. And that's true both in a positive respect and also in negative ways, right? Just like the right people can move your faith in the right direction, the wrong people can move your faith in the wrong direction. And you've probably seen that happen. Like maybe you have friends who used to be all about their faith. And then they started hanging out with like a different crowd. And like, it's not that they're bad people, right? It's just obvious that their friends are kind of pulling them away. And here are the big questions. If the people around us have a huge impact on our lives and our faith, how do we find the right people to help us? How do we find the right people to help us? And how do we prevent ourselves from being affected by the wrong ones? Like there's that balance, right? I want to find the right people to surround myself with, and how do I keep myself from being influenced negatively by the wrong people? And I'm going to start this morning by sharing an ancient piece of wisdom with you. And I'm not exaggerating. In ancient cultures, books were written that contained nothing but wisdom and good advice. In fact, in Jewish culture, in ancient Israel, those things were collected into a book we call Proverbs. It was written by King Solomon, we believe, most of it, and he was the wisest man that ever lived, according to the Bible. And he wrote down his wisdom into the book of Proverbs so that he could share it with his son, so that this wisdom wouldn't be lost. And even though the advice is old, it's amazing how relevant it is to our lives right now. Why don't you check this out? Proverbs 13:20. Walk with the wise and become wise. For a companion of fools suffers harm. Walk with the wise and become wise. See, here's the thing. If I were to pick a single Bible verse, if I had to pick just one verse and have every 7th grader memorize it before they started J-High, this would be the verse. This would be the verse. Because what do I want you to, what do I want to impart to you as you're starting in the junior high? Because everybody remembers their first day of junior high, right? We all remember that day. Some of us, it was a lot closer than others. Others of us are getting ready to move out of high school. But think back to your first day of junior high. Like the world has changed. Like you're in this strange new place with all of these weird creatures and like chaos reigns. And you go, where am I supposed to go? They didn't prepare me for this in elementary school. I'm not ready for junior high. You walk through those doors and it's absolute chaos. If I were to set every 7th grader up for success, I would have them memorize this verse. Walk with the wise, and we'll be wise. For a companion of fools suffers harm. Like you don't even have to be a Christian for this to be useful to you. Like this is true for everyone. Right? Like this is universal. You don't just have to be a person of faith here in this church. Like everybody should know. If you walk with the wise, you're going to be wise. The people you choose to spend time with affect your life. Hang out with the wise and you'll become smarter and you'll do life better. Hang out with fools? Yeah, you're going to get hurt. Hang out with fools and bad things are going to happen. Think about it. All right. Everybody close your eyes. Close your eyes. I want you to think of one celebrity who at 15, 16, or 17 years old seemed to be on a good path. It's like, oh, they're a celebrity, and they're crushing it at 17 years old, or 15 or 16 years. And then something happened. Justin Bieber. And things began to go downhill for them. It's okay, I can call him out. Hang on. And if you watch any type of documentary on their life, years later, they almost always say the same thing, right? Almost all of these celebrities who get fame and fortune, and it seemed like they were on top of the world, and everything was going great for them, and then, like crash and burn. You talk to them after the fact, and they all say the same thing. They began to surround themselves with foolish people. They started hanging out with the wrong crowd. And everything came off the rails. The Apostle Paul talked about a similar idea when he went to the church in Corinth. This was a church full of people who had decided to follow Jesus, but they were having a hard time, not giving up the not so great things that they had been doing before they started following Jesus. And these are things that people in the society around them were continuing to do. So they had this struggle, like this tension of, man, can we keep doing that? Should we not keep doing that? What should we do, Paul? And so Paul writes this in 1 Corinthians 15:33. He says, do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. Bad company corrupts good character. Here's what Paul's basically saying. If you want to move in a better direction, hang out with people who want the same thing. If you want what's best for your life, hang out with people who want the same thing. See, the wrong influences will impact you in ways that cause negative behaviors and outcomes. And just as the person who walks with the wise will be wise, the person who walks with fools will be foolish. And you've probably seen this happen before. You've probably seen this happen in your group of friends before. Like maybe your best friend started hanging out with a certain guy We all know that guy, right? We knew he was trouble. You knew he was trouble. Your friend knew he was trouble. I'm not looking at anyone particularly. I look at you. I'm not indicting you if I look at you. I don't know. But they started hanging out with that guy. And that guy was notorious for doing bad stuff. But your friend was like clueless. Oh no, he's so cute. It's going to be different this time. What was the outcome? I'm willing to bet that your friend changed. How do I know? Well, because it's a timeless principle that's universally true. Walk with the wise and with the wise. A bad company will corrupt good morals. Yeah, Jesus calls us to love everybody and spend time with people who aren't like us. But that doesn't mean we invite foolish influences into our inner circle. And I want you to think about this. Like, really think about this for a second. We don't have to date just anybody. We can be selective. And I would even tell my teenage self that. My sad, little, lonely teenage self who couldn't catch a date feeling. And finally someone shows interest. I would go to my little nap buddy and go, don't do it. It's foolish. You don't have to date just anybody. And you don't have to trust everybody's advice. Because everybody has an opinion about something, right? And everybody wants to tell you what you should do, and everybody wants to say, no, you should do this, or you should do that, you should date them, you should date them, you should do what you do. Like, you don't have to trust everybody's advice. But this isn't just negative. It's equally true for people who are a good influence, right? We go back to the book of Proverbs. Proverbs 27:17 says, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. All right, raise your hand if you're like an ironsmith. If you smelt iron for a hobby. No one? All right. Okay. So we can agree. Everyone in this room, like, you don't have a lot of experience like working with iron. Okay, but I want to paint a picture. Raise your hand if your family has, like in a nice wooden block somewhere in the kitchen, a bunch of sharp knives. Now we go, oh, we got sharp knives. All right, now keep your hand up. Keep your hand up if that set includes something that looks like a big sword. It's not a sword. It's not a sword. Okay, go ahead, put your hands up. All right, so here's the picture, right? Here's the picture, wait. If your mom uses those knives, she's like cooking and doing all this mom thing, and the knives get dull, she has to sharpen them. Well, how do you sharpen a knife? You take that big sword-looking thing, it's not a sword, and you take the knife and you strike the two of them against each other. See, that big sword-looking thing is a stronger piece of steel, and as you strike the two against each other, after watching a YouTube tutorial, of course, the two metals interacting with each other will make the knife sharper. Iron sharpens iron. We need other people to sharpen our lives, to sharpen our faith. And this is also true wisdom when it comes to the people around us, right? Stronger friends make us stronger. Strong friends make us sharper and better at whatever we're doing, including our faith. They help us develop a faith that's more authentic, less counterfeit, but, and this is a big deal, that only happens when the real us shows up. It only happens when the real me shows up, right? We all know what it's like to be a counterfeit version of ourselves somewhere, right? We know what it's like to talk in a way or to act in a way that's not who we really are. We've all done this. And it's super tempting to be counterfeit here in church. It's super tempting, whether you're a teenager or an adult. There's always this temptation to act like we have it all together. Like, I want to come in here and perpetrate that, like, man, I've got my stuff together. Like, I don't need to grow. I don't need help. Like, everything is solid. My faith is good. But when we do that, the real us misses out on a chance to grow. See, we need mentors. We need family members and friends to help us to be sharper and to move our faith from being just a copy of someone else to being our very own. The real us misses out on the chance to be sharpened and to get stronger, and sometimes faith feels less real because we're being less real. So we have to show up and let the real us be here. The good news is the opposite is true too. When you show up as your real, authentic self and have real, authentic conversations with your friends or your leaders, God uses those to make your faith stronger and more personal. In other words, real faith grows with other people. That's why we have the church. That's why we're here. This is also why we do small groups, which start again this Wednesday night, by the way, 6:30 to 8. Make sure you come join us, invite a friend. Yeah, you can come, right? See, every time we meet in small groups, they provide an opportunity for us to sharpen each other, to be real with each other. Like we can challenge each other, we can grow together. Like making the decision to show up and be real with your small group each and every week is like saying, God, I can't create these relationships on my own, but I trust that if I put myself in their pathway, you can make change happen. Trust in God to make something happen through this small group. And trust me, you need this. Like maybe not right now, but there's going to come a point when life gets confusing or difficult. There's going to be a time when your faith feels weak and counterfeit. Whether it's a big decision or a painful mess, you're going to want to know that someone is just a text message away. Someone is just a group chat away. That there's an adult leader that you can trust who cares about you and wants what's best for you, and they're willing to listen to what's going on in your life. And that's why one of the best things you can do for your life and your faith this week is simply be real when you come to small group on Wednesday. And I'm not just talking about physically showing up. Like maybe you need to show up mentally. Like take a break from your phone. It's okay, you can put it away. Your phone will still be there, I promise. You can put the phone away. You're not going to die. I promise. Maybe you need to start showing up for the people in your small group by actually hanging out with them at school. Hang out in church. Yeah, you can do it. Like you've been holding back. Maybe you don't know anyone that well. Maybe it's your first time here and you don't feel comfortable. But if you want to grow, your faith, you have to take a step and put yourself out there. You have to take a chance. You have to trust that these other people can be trusted. Or maybe you need some one-on-one time. Maybe you're dealing with some things that are too difficult to figure out alone. And like offer myself to you. I meet with a lot of students one-on-one over the course of time. And it's just a conversation. Try not to make it weird. Talk about what's going on in your life, what you're struggling, what you're dealing with. I'll ask you some hard questions. I'll challenge you to grow in your faith. And if that's you, come see me. I'd love to meet with you. Or maybe you really want to take your faith to the next level and you met someone older who seems like they could help. Today is a great day to start a conversation with a small group leader. There's someone who in the back of the room right now. Maybe you're going to have a conversation with you about whatever's going on in your life. Why? Because they care about you. I want to see what's best. And then invest in you. How does that work? How do you start a small group conversation? It could go something like this. Hey, Trey. Hey, Trey, I really admire the way you intentionally live out your faith, and I could really use some of your input. Would it be cool if you and I talked and you helped me find the next right step?
Anytime.
See how easy that is? Make some noise for Christ. He didn't know I was going to do that. Maybe you know someone who could really use some encouragement or truth spoken to them. It would be great if you encouraged them. It would be really cool if you encouraged them, and maybe you feel like you're unqualified for the job. Maybe your next step is to approach that person and just hang out with them and allow God to use you. Like, this isn't just about helping you. Just like you need a place to be real and honest, it's possible that someone else needs a faith-building conversation with you in their life. So when you show up each week, not only do you get to be that kind of friendship, you get that friendship, but you also become that kind of friend for someone else. Maybe it's time that you pray and ask God to open your eyes to how you can build faith in someone else, because there's people around us that need us to sharpen them. As we head out, don't miss this, right? God wants to be close to you. You have to honestly believe that I do. God wants to be close to you, to feel real to you, to be personal with you. See, that's why God hasn't made it complicated. He's made it pretty easy. God put people around you to help you grow and develop a personal, authentic faith of your own. So as you head out today, I want you to think about the relationships that draw you closer to God. Who do you wish you could hang out with more because you want your faith to look like their faith? See, it's not about us. It's not about us copying their faith. It's about their faith encouraging our faith to grow more. Challenge you this week. Take a step. Make other people a priority. Real faith grows with other people. Priorities. Father God, thank you so much for this time in this place. God, we thank you for the examples that we find in your word. Lord, I pray this week that you would encourage every student in this room and watching online to take the next step in growing their faith. God, bring them to Wednesday nights. Help them get plugged into a real small group where they can experience relationships with others. And those relationships would help us sharpen and hone their faith. That they would own it, that it would be theirs, and that it would bring you glory. God, we love you. We thank you for this time in this place. We pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Hey, Wednesday night, 6:30 to 8. Tuesday, 6:30 to 8:30. We're going to Next time, you guys.